Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Scott Family TV. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing and joining our channel. Your support shall always mean the absolute world to us. Now, on part 2 of this conversation on the princess and the press. Now, on Prince Harry, a private investigator has apologized for targeting Prince Harry's ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy. Now, a private investigator has apologized for targeting the Duke of Sussex's ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Davies, for surveillance when they were dating. Gavin Barrows told the BBC the press had focused on Prince Harry in the 2000s as the new Diana. Imagine the sickness of the British tabloids after harassing Prince Harry's mother to the point she died running away from paparazzi. Now they want a new target. To them, blood is the main goal of the British tabloids. They want blood. Now they're targeting not just Prince Harry, but Meghan, his wife Meghan Markle. Mr. Barrows, a witness in the ongoing legal cases against the News of the World and The Sun, said he and the press had been ruthless. And indeed they have been. They have been so ruthless to the point that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, while pregnant, was driven to having suicidal ideations due to the British tabloids and the firm waging a smear campaign that was borderline abusive, racist, and sexist to Meghan Markle. Now, the smear campaign was borderline abusive, racist, and sexist to Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And I'm glad that she finally valued her mental health enough to flee a toxic environment. Now, Mr. Barrows, a witness in ongoing legal cases against the News of the World and The Sun, said he and the press had been ruthless. His claims are yet to be tested in court and are strongly disputed. Prince Harry is one of several people pursuing legal action against the publisher of The Sun and News of the World, News Group newspapers, as well as the owner of the Daily Mirror, over allegations of phone hacking and other illegal news gathering activity. Now, UK, how can you put up with having such a press system like this that engages in illegal activity, targets people, dehumanizes people, also that they can make a dollar? How? There needs to be press reforms in the UK. The News of the World was Britain's biggest Sunday newspaper until 2011, when the owner shut it down after a series of damaging reports, including that the paper hacked the phone of murdered schoolgirl Millie Dowler. News Group newspapers accepts a limited amount of unlawful activity occurred at the News of the World. However, it denies there was any wrongdoing at The Sun and says it has not accepted liability in any of the phone hacking cases brought against it. Now, the private investigators' claims feature in a BBC documentary that investigates the relationship between the younger princess and the media. Media editor Amol Rajan speaks to journalists about how they were briefed on stories, including claims about the behavior of the Duchess of Sussex, promoted by the British firm and the institution to smear and taint Meghan's character. Prince William met with editors of papers who had peddled negative coverage over Meghan's relationship with Thomas Markle. Thomas Markle confirmed that the palace owe him and that his contact at the palace is Jason Knopf, Prince William's and Kate Middleton's head of Royal Foundation, as seen in the picture above. All of them have been part of this smear campaign against Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and I pray that a day may come that there will be accountability for their actions. Mr. Barrows' account sheds new light on the background to an impending conflict over the conduct of the press. Prince Harry, who has sharply criticized the media and advocated for reform, has so far declined to settle his phone hacking claim, raising the prospect of a trial. People need to pay for their crimes. They need to pay for their crimes. And I'm glad that Prince Harry is going after the people who caused so much distress to Meghan, his wife Meghan, while pregnant, and have caused so much distress to him in his life. It's time now that they pay. Justice is the only way, and Prince Harry is pursuing it in court. Former BBC royal correspondent Peter Hunt said the prince battling newspapers in court over allegations of unlawful activity, seemingly driven by avenging what he sees as unfair treatment of his mother, would be a massive moment in British public life. There needs to be accountability for their actions. They cannot keep getting away and just, whenever they commit a crime, remove a checkbook, settle, remove a checkbook, settle. It can't keep happening like that. Once you commit a crime, you must pay for your crimes. The people who hacked a dead child's phone, like Piers Morgan, they need to be in prison. They need to pay for their crime. They need to answer for it. Not their bosses at the Mirror or the News of the World removing their checkbook and paying. No, that's not the solution anymore. People who continue to do that, they must answer to their crimes. They must face justice. After removing a checkbook, then they moved to now harass Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. The cycle of abuse keeps on rolling, keeps on continuing and continuing. It keeps on continuing. And it must be put to a stop. Mr. Barrow told the program there was a much greater interest in Prince Harry than in Prince William when he began working for the News of the World in 2000. As explained to me by a couple of editors, Harry had basically become the new Diana, he said. Editors had told him putting Prince Harry on the front page sold more copies of newspapers than Prince William, Mr. Barrows said. And now British tabloids have engaged in putting Meghan on their front pages, harassing her, bullying her, vilifying her, inciting hate towards Meghan. As long as the solution is removing a checkbook and paying compensation, removing a checkbook and paying compensation, there will never ever be accountability by the UK tabloid media. The solution now is for them, whoever commits a crime needs to answer to their crimes, go to jail, pay for his crimes, do time for their actions. And I know exactly the first person to do it would be Piers Morgan. Now, editors had told him putting Prince Harry on the front page sold more copies of newspaper than Prince William. The private investigator said when Prince Harry began dating Miss Davy in 2004, it opened a lucrative new avenue of business as her communications were targeted. There was a lot of voicemail hacking going on. There was a lot of surveillance work on her phones, on her communications. Chelsea would brag to her friends when she was going to see him. He said investigators were interested in her medical records, ex-boyfriends, and details of her educations. Mr. Barrows apologized, saying he was very sorry and that he acted this way because I was greedy, I was into my cocaine, and I was living in a fake state of grandeur. A fake state of grandeur. That's what most British tabloids must feel whenever they write defamatory articles against Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and they get away with it. That's how they must feel when, after profiting for so many years from Princess Diana, even after her death, and no action being taken against them after what they did to her, after the emotional distress and pain they caused Princess Diana, and have now caused Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, to the point that she had suicidal ideations while pregnant. This fake state of grandeur, the fact that they keep getting away with it, is why they will always continue to do it. But I'm grateful for Prince Harry because he's going after these people. These people must pay for their crimes. He doesn't want compensation. He wants a full-blown trial. Mr. Barrows said that there was a ruthless culture in parts of the media around that time. They've got no morals. They absolutely have got no morals. And that is what I've always been saying. The Daily Mail, for instance, needs to be banned. They have no morals whatsoever. Now, He also said he regretted his treatment of Prince Harry as basically part of a group of people who robbed him of his normal teenage years, Mr. Barrows said. Mr. Barrows was one of many private investigators employed by UK newspapers during what came to be known as the phone hacking scandal. The exposure of unethical and sometimes illegal methods of getting information, including accessing voicemails, has prompted a wave of legal cases over the years. Solicitor Callum Galbraith, coordinating the current legal actions against newspapers, said the scale of the use of private investigators by the News of the World and other papers was absolutely phenomenal, starting in the early 1990s and continuing to 2011 when police began a new investigation. A criminal trial in 2014 had the News of the World's former royal editor, Olive Goodman, hacked the messages of Kate Middleton 155 times when she was dating Prince William. He also hacked the phones of both princes, the court had. The princes felt really violated and both were initially determined to resolve their issues with the publisher, said Mr. Hart, the former BBC royal correspondent. He said it's now just one of them who is pursuing it, which is Prince Harry. One of them is pursuing it. Prince Harry is pursuing British tabloids. He's the one now pursuing the course of actions against British tabloids. One of them has chosen to play the game. Prince William has chosen to play the game. Prince Harry no longer wants to play this game, a game that murders people, a game that leads to loss of lives for the people that Prince Harry deeply loves. The people that he loves have suffered because of it. And it's now time for accountability for their actions. It's now high time for accountability. And I'm thankful so much for Prince Harry. Yes, for refusing to play the game, a game that destroys lives of the British tabloids. So go get them, Harry. Go get them. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking, subscribing. This is part 2 of the Princes and the Press. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for liking, subscribing, supporting our channel. Your support means the absolute world to us. With so much love from Subscribe Family TV. Stay tuned for our next video.